Commissioner King? Here. Commissioner Walk?
Here.
Commissioner King?
Got the good side, don't worry.
Commissioner Walls?
Here.
Commissioner Benedict? Here. Commissioner Toma? Here. President Blair? Here. And Junior Commissioner Ferrero is absent.
She's excused, yes, she's on vacation. I want to acknowledge we have two executive sessions, one on Monday, July 31st, 2023 at 7 p.m. and one on Monday, August 7th, 2023 at 6:45 p.m. These are for legal and personnel matters. Next is department reports, code enforcement.
I have nothing to add from my report.
Engineering.
Thank you. You share a copy of my report. The Boston Wayne business stations are both operational and online. They can fine-tune some of the aspects of site conditions, for what they are currently. We are also working with PennVest on some of the requested additions, specifically fly outside tanks. We're working with PennVest on getting that squared away. Mansfield Storm Sewer Project, we're setting up a pre-construction meeting for most likely later on this week on Friday with Stash Contracting. They're the contractor will be doing the work. Jacktown Bridge is continuing to progress. They're about a week away from pouring the deck for the bridge, and obviously it's time to cure. We are approaching the end on that one, closer to the end.
For final completion date, we can open Jacktown.
I would, because of the cure time, I'd want to wait until they actually pour it, because usually it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to cure. So we just have to, once we get that,
It's about a month and a half till it's open.
I'd say about, yeah.
Okay.
MS4 program, the phase 1 projects, contracts have been signed by both Sweet Construction and the township. So we'll be issuing those proceed to Sweet Construction. We're in the process of delivering the plans and specifications to the township for the Haymaker retaining wall. That's potentially going to be an in-house project done by the Public Works next year. And then township manager and I had a meeting this morning with low volume dirt and gravel from Conservation District, an update on Jacktown slab repairs. And that's going to go out on the street for bid next week. And I'd be happy to take any questions that you may have on any of those projects.
Any questions for Kevin? Good, thank you. Chief.
I have nothing outside of my report.
Okay. Public Works.
Because our focus has been on the Forest Hills Road slide, I don't have anything to add other than my written report, but I prepared a slideshow if you would indulge me. Sure. I can give some explanation. So, when we, you don't mind if I stand?
No,
Okay, thanks. So when we went in digging, one of the objectives was to find the cause of our landslide, and we found it as we removed the soil. About a third of the way from the top, you can see like a black line running on the through the dirt. That was the fracture mark where the dirt was no longer connected to the soil beneath it. Next slide. That's called slip clay. I learned a lot of geotechnical terms from our geotechnical engineer on site, so I feel a lot smarter after this project. But that is a smooth layer of clay just above the coal seam that prevents any adhesion between the soil. And when water got in there, it was like ice. It would not stick. And as we were digging, that is an active slide creeping out a little as we kept digging. Every day that would creep out and bring more soil down on it. So that was the causal factor of the large slide. This is what we started with. This picture was taken in December, right after I started. You can see we had trees on the left-hand side. We had to block off the road. And that was to protect us. That was a demonstration we had to whether we were going to open or close the road or not. And that's the vegetation removed from the slide area. You can see how much of the road left, and we ended up with just an unstable, large pile of dirt that we had to remove. When you do big jobs, you get big iron. That was a tracked dump truck that we rented to excavate all the material off because of the extreme slope and terrain. Those trucks weigh 42,000 pounds empty and had a 28,000 pound capacity. And that is a Dodge a Dodge 5500 service truck beside it. So the scale of the equipment we had was pretty large. I had a video of the dump truck, but it didn't load. That was a blank slide. When they pulled into the job, I don't know if you're familiar with the construction equipment, but an excavator can do 360 degrees. That truck, the whole top turned. So when they drove into the site, they came in forward, the whole truck turned on its tracks, and they could face the direction they came out of. They never had to back up. So the increased safety, the increased productivity helped us move the project along faster. And those made several hundred trips up and down that road. So a footer in this application is called buttress. So that is the ditch, which is approximately 10 to 14 feet wide, depending on our soil. And you can see the two gentlemen inside that buttress. That is the footer. That's what's holding up and anchoring this entire repair. And those rocks are larger than you can put your arms around, down to about basketball-sized rock. And we would haul those in with the track trucks, back them in that ditch, dump them, grade them, and compact them as we went. And you can see the black pipe for the drainage that we installed. That's looking down off Forest Hills into the buttress. You can see the layers of earth. And we went until we hit competent rock, which means something solid, shale or bedrock. And we put the repair on that. It's not dirt underneath, it's rock. And the benches are just flat areas like the steps in your home, and we work them up the grade as we backfill. So we take out bad dirt, put good rock in, we build up to a certain elevation, bench back in, and just repeat the process until we ran out of bad dirt, which was quite a bit of earth. You can see the benches in the hillside. This picture is the coal seam. So you have a layer of black, a layer of light gray, and then the sandstone bedrock. That was where that slip was occurring, just above the black coal seam. And that's where we found the water creeping out from the hillside. And we had put drainage in. That is, the left picture is the master drain with a T on, and these 6-inch black drains ran into that. And that is looking uphill towards Forest Hills. And that's one of our employees, so you can see the size of that ditch or buttress that we installed. And that pipe got covered with driveway gravel and then the large rock on top as an anchor point. That's looking down towards the bottom. That's the same ditch. It's approximately 12 feet deep right there. So we're sitting on bedrock there. And backfill and compaction, after we got the buttress done, what we would do is build up, like I said, we'd go in and step it, and those track trucks were able to go over top of these large rock, and then we had a bulldozer, flatten everything, and then that large compaction roller would set all the stone down with vibratory compaction drum on the front. And once we got the rock layers, we were able to bring in competent soil that we saved down in Smithdale. That gave us the ability to run our rubber tire trucks. We would build a road of dirt back and compact it with the roller, and then the trucks would dump the stone on top of the layer of dirt, and we just rinsed and we just dirt, rock, until we came up to the top. And you can see the road is now a square angle. That would be another bench, another step. We take out the bad soil, we take it into competent rock, and we would be able to back these trucks in. Those trucks will haul 22.5 ton. Our trucks were hauling 10 ton. So the more of those trucks I could get in from the contractor, the faster we could fill it up. So we were able to speed up the process by driving their trucks down into the job, rather than double handling the material. And once we got up to the road, we restored it with a mix of number 3, which locked in the large rock, and then modified, which has rock dust in it, compacted it, and we put the asphalt on top of that. We dug out the old road, benched it in, and then we have a tie-in point, and that's our crew putting down the heavy base material asphalt. And that's when the slide happened, and that's the restoration of the rock slope. And looking up Forest Hills, we have grass planted for erosion control on the bottom. And that's before and after. That's the new road and the old road. And that's looking down the slide from the top of Forest Hill. The timeline, on March 21st, we added extra pipe on the hillside to gather groundwater. May 8th, we began on slide 1A, which is on the Douglas Run Road side. We dug that slide out so we could put dirt from slide 3 in. Slides 1A and 3 were completed on May 31st. June 6th, we started digging the master drain for the slide 2, which was the large one, and on July 27th, we paved. We excavated 5,500 cubic yards of soil. The main buttress, that main footer, was 262 feet long. The buttress is 10 by 14 feet wide and 6 to 12 feet deep, depending on where we hit the bedrock. There's 360 feet of pipe inside that repair, just on slide 2. We used a combined total of 11,343 tons of stone and rock to repair all 3 slides. That includes the road-based material and the heavy rock underneath. And we installed over 370 feet of drain pipe on Forest Hills Road to improve the drainage and upgrade the drainage on the road from end to end. That's it. That's what we did for the last 4 months.
Hey, first of all, that road has been closed for 6 years. And, you know, even before I was a commissioner, I kept hearing how it can't be done. It's impossible. It can't be done. Well, you and your team made the impossible possible. And I'm very proud of our team efforts in there. I mean, to be able to accomplish something like that. And I've walked down there with many of the other commissioners during construction, and even during some of the times when there wasn't, you know, maybe an evening or something. And just the amount of work that was done on that. I mean, the pictures, they seem incredible, but when you went up there and saw it, it was beyond even that, what you guys accomplished. And I'm extremely proud of our team and you as doing what you did for them. Thank you very much. They'll be very happy.
I just want to say a couple things too. I mean, like Chris said, we've talked about this project for a lot of years, way before I was a commissioner. If I was guesstimating, it was probably gonna cost us $1.5 million to fix this if we went outside. Would you say that's quite a, maybe more?
Around there.
Okay. Elizabeth's here tonight. Andrew got us $600,000 towards this project. Senator Brewster got us $660,000. You got us. Senator Brewster got us $200,000. That's $860,000. And I think we're going to come in with labor probably right around $900,000. So this saved us probably about $600,000 by doing it in house. So great job, Tom. But not only that, I've seen a difference in your crew too. So, you know, you took some guys that were basically, I hate to say this, but road guys, you know, sanitary sewers, you know, clean up the rush, and you gave them this major project. And you see these guys talk about it, the pride they have, the pride of their job now. I mean, you've really taken this crew to another level, and just a great job.
Thank you.
So, great job. Appreciate it. So thank you. Anything else other than that, Tom?
No, our 4 college kids we hired this year, in addition to Chris McCosey, who's returning, real quick, those 4 young men impressed me. We hit the jackpot. They were on time every day, worked really hard, adjusted to, you know, the training and everything. They did a really good job and the ball for them back next year.
Thank you. That is sanitary.
Thank you. You have a written report, just that the Wayne Vista pump station is operating very well. We're conveying sewage to the Boston pump station, which in turn is conveying to Keysport. So all is going well. I can address any questions on our report.
Any questions for them?
No questions, just a comment. You guys ought to stop down at Buena Vista. You will recognize the place. Pretty amazing difference. We'll move along.
Thanks. Solicitor.
Only one thing to report. There was a public hearing held immediately prior to this meeting regarding the township's intention to file articles of incorporation relating to the incorporation of a development authority. So that public hearing was held. I had thought originally we needed a motion to have a resolution passed, but I just noticed that it was already
twenty twenty-two audit in a week or so, mid-August. That's with Austin Associates, and I did get the unfortunate, but maybe fortunate, is that our accountant can no longer service keep us as a client because of her staffing issues. The whole firm is having trouble finding qualified accountants. And so they let go of a few accounts last year, and then let go of a few more this year. So I have a real, she hooked me up with another accounting agency. I'm talking to them now. So they're very excited to do business with us. I think we'll be fine, and in the long run, we might actually be in better shape because they were just having trouble. They were just having some trouble keeping up with the volume. So I wish her all the luck. Thank her for all of her service, Barb Tarek, in the past. She's been super helpful, wonderful woman. I think she made the right decision, and so I'll keep you posted on what happens moving forward. A couple MS4 updates. We did update the website with some new information. We kind of cleaned it up a little bit, pulled some of the information together, and made it look like, I don't know, just made it a little easier to navigate, added some more information, put the educational portion of the MS4 consent decree. We just did that this week, and then we are the sanitation department is continuing to camera our stormwater outfalls and map those and give, tell us the conditions of all those. That's ongoing. We had a boiler inspection by our insurance company. We have 3 boilers that he inspected, they all passed. Just a quick note on that, that's good, no repairs needed. And he's gonna send the certificates in the mail. Officer McCosey was able to arrange a drive through the township at night with one of the higher ups at West Penn Energy to look at streetlights, which was great because we've had our fair share of lights that were out. And they identified 15 remaining lights out of, I would say, at a high point of 75. So we've taken care of about 60 of them over the course of the last year. And he promised that they would take care of those 15 right away. So that's really good news. The LSA grant starts next month. I'm going to work on that. We're currently working on getting some supporting documentations, some quick renderings of some of the improvements we want to make in the township. That should all be ready to go in the next couple of weeks. The Allegheny County Economic Development Department opened up their community development block grant for the year. And I talked to Chris House about this. He doesn't think we need to apply for any more demolitions. So I'm going to bring the criteria to the workshop meeting. We can discuss maybe other projects that we can do that will include infrastructure improvements, planning. There's a lot of different categories that we can try to apply. So we'll talk about that at the workshop meeting. And my last note is that the bill warrant for the general fund this month is up to $900,000, and that's exclusively due to the expenses related to Forest Hills Road. Normally that bill warrant's a lot less, so between that 620-some thousand and the almost 300,000 for the recycling bins and another 30,000 for the LED conversions, our budget over the next month, once we get reimbursed, will increase on the funds. So if things look a little tight and low, that's only because we've spent all that money ahead of time. That's really all I have. I'd like to thank, real quickly, it's not an afterthought, I just saw it down here. I want to thank my staff, like I occasionally like to thank them for planting flowers and watering them. And Jamie's had a lot to do with this, Jamie Montgomery, for the recreation momentum that we've had internally, movie nights. I don't know, I just have the best staff in the world. I just want to thank all of them. So.
Quick comment. Greg, back to the streetlights, we've kind of been asking for them to come fix those 2 over the community center. Is that part of those 15?
Yeah, I did ask them. I forgot about that.
One of them is totally out, the other one is yellow.
Right.
Can you read the circle tag?
I've done all that.
I usually got them fixed right away.
I've done all that 3 times.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
Yep, thanks.
Next is committee reports. First is budget, finance, grants, legislation, and general government. We continue last week with our congresswoman. She's actually starting to work with us for some larger grants also. Other than that, that's all the report for that committee. Okay, code enforcement?
Code enforcement did not meet this month, but I did want to just make a comment. So, in addition to the condemnations and demolitions that I know Chris House has been working on, anybody that's familiar with our main business district, Route 48, he was very influential in the demolition. It's now complete, or at least close to complete, of the car wash and laundromat on 48. That was without question blighted property. I've personally been in there, I've seen it, so anyone else that's familiar would know that. And I know Chris worked to get that taken care of, so just wanted to thank him for that. But that's all. Okay.
Parks and Recreation?
We did have a meeting, and our discussions were based off of the next movie night, August 8th, correct? 19th, sorry. What was the 8th? Can't remember. All right. The 19th, preparing for Fall Festival, and we wanted to establish a recreation committee event kind of personnel. So anyone that wanted to volunteer, we're going to push it out in the newsletter to help prepare some of the events and some of the legs of the events to help in the process of that and form like a formalized committee to do so. So all are welcome to do that, and we're hoping that we get a decent turnout to do that as well. Had a couple meetings with in regards to Boston Field area, just tentatively right now looking at a project to possibly reface that and reshape that. It's in the infant stage right now, but we're looking to move forward soon.
That's it. Thank you. Personnel? Danny's not here, I'm not sure if anyone from personnel met this one. Okay. Public safety, public works?
We did meet personnel. Danny's not here, but we had two different meetings directly for personnel use.
Okay. Public safety, public works?
We didn't meet, but, on the recreation side, I just wanted to say something, about Vernon Courts, where EFYA courts opened up this past 2 Saturdays ago. And if anybody hasn't gone out to see it, you should. I think it's beautiful. It turned out really well. The kids and the adults in the area love it. And we also have people throughout the whole township coming there. I was there on Sunday, and there was people of all ages. There was people in their 60s and 70s playing, and there was kids as young as 6 playing on the basketball court. So it was a great move by the board to help fund that project, a great move by EFA and their members to help fund that project. So I can't be more proud of what that is, and it just shows what we can do as a township if we just give a little bit of a nudge, and that Boston project can be the next piece.
I missed we did talk about Chapel Drive as well, but we're looking to get a survey for Chapel and get a plan of attack for that as well. But he is correct. Mount Vernon is awesome.
Thanks, Jim. Sanitary and stormwater?
Mark, you want to talk about what you've been doing with this for?
Nothing really to report in terms of MS4, other than what Kevin touched on in his report and what Greg touched on in his report. This phase 1 project should start within a month to 6 weeks. And they're working on phase 2.
We've recently, Mark Patrick has recently completed a letter that has been brought to Matt for his final touches to go off to U.S. Steel to ask for, again, the donation of those properties to start mitigating the A&D down at Morton Hines. So that's moving forward.
Comprehensive plan?
Nothing to report this month.
Okay. Business development?
I just want to mention that tentatively, we've scheduled a meeting for September 18th for business owners. I'll have more information, and I'm also encouraging anybody who is a business owner in the township to reach out. We're setting the committee up, and we're hoping to meet and bring brainstorm and come up with thoughts, suggestions, ideas on, again, how to make it, a better place to own and operate a business and, communicate with the township to improve and just make it a better place to own and run your own business. So, right now it's September 18th. Anyone that's interested, please reach out to myself or Greg or anyone at the administrative office. Thank you.
Recreation events, get this covered. Chris, anything on the junior commission, or does Giovanna's on vacation?
So Giovanna, she's, met with, one of the local sign people to potentially replace this sign up front. It would be a non-LED type sign, scrolling sign, would be more stationary, fixed, signage. Other than that, she had a couple other ideas, but I'd rather let her share at the workshop meeting.
So I actually had a discussion with her in regards to recreation, because in our meeting, we had talked about it. And what I threw out to her was to try to maybe tap in like to the high school or even kid events, like how we sponsor Fall Fest or whatever, maybe do something at the community center. And she pitched a couple ideas, but next meeting, she's gonna come and we're gonna try to get the high schoolers together to maybe do like a karaoke night or something, and try to plan a couple events for them.
Sounds good, thank you. No presentations, next is public comments. Linda Bennett.
Good evening, thank you very much.
And if you just state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Linda Bennett, I'm the Elizabeth Township Historical Society. That would be 5811 Smithfield Street, Boston, PA, and I'm here on their behalf. I did bring a sign over from the Elizabeth Township Historical Society. I dropped it off at the office. I hope that you all have had an opportunity to see the sign. We had it made at the Historical Society probably about 6-7 years ago. Don Simolo, when he was on the board, he gave us the okay to put the signs up. However, at that particular point in time, we did not have beautiful street signs like we have now. So now would be an appropriate time to put at least one of them underneath the Green Oak Buena Vista Smithfield Street. It would really, I think, enhance the signage that you all have put up in the community. So I would like to get some positivity on that.
I haven't seen them yet, Linda.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
describe what they look like?
Yes, it's in Greg's office.
Okay, I'll make sure to take a look.
Yeah,
at it.
they were very expensive and really very nice. It's a corrugated aluminum sign.
Okay.
And Linda, you'd like to see it on the street marker?
Yes, when you cross the Boston Bridge from the Versailles side, it would enhance the Smithfield Street sign, Grand Buena Vista sign. Right now, the Elizabeth Township sign faces this way. So I would need it to face this way on the Smithfield seat because the hand points this way down towards the, where the Historical Society is located there on Smithfield Street. And then there would be one coming from the Route 48 to the Versailles side. It would be another sign that would face that. So when you're leaving and you're coming, you would know where the Historical Society is. We've got 2 signs posted down on the bike trail right now. Tim Boundfield put those up for us. So when we have events there, that really is, really nice, to know about. Also, we have some temporary signs that when we have an event at the log home for the community, we're trying to run the second Saturday of the month, to offer something for the community to participate in. This Saturday on the 12th, we have summer harvest. So if you come, you'll learn about leather, you'll learn about herbs, you'll learn about pickling, cabbage preservation, and it's for the all ages. July 22nd, we did Military Day, where we paid tribute to all the military in the area, all the branches. It was well represented in the community. Everybody, I think, had a nice time there. So I would like to invite you all to Saturday, August the 12th, to the Summer Harvest Day, and then also next.
You're at your 3 minutes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, you can
That's
finish up.
okay.
You can finish up.
So, just September 23rd, mark it on your calendar. That's gonna be our 10th annual Log Home Days. I have 100 things. That will finish the roof, that will give me electric, historical lighting on the interior, plus 2 heaters, second floor and first floor, so we'll have all year long to use the log cabin for the community.
Thanks, Linda. Okay, next is Eugene Kadar. Eugene, if you could state your name and your address for the record.
My name is Eugene Kadar. I live in Bronzeville, Pennsylvania. My street address is 416 Graves Lane. I received my mail at the post office box in Bronzeville. I represent the estate of the late Michael Kadar. I'm the executor of his estate, and I have his death certificate and a short certificate. Who should I present that to here?
Thank you.
At least it shows I have standing this time. In the last 2 years, I had 2 of my last remaining brothers pass away. Michael was the most recent one. He had COPD, he'd been in the Navy, he had asbestos in his lungs, and his condition just deteriorated, and he wasn't handling things well. And I'm trying to do the best I can. I was in Florida when he died, so I had to remotely get him cremated and put in the National Cemetery, the Alleghenies out here. Anyway, the house in question at 308 Long Street, all of the family except my sister were born in that house. My grandmother was a midwife. I still have her papers. They're historical from the old country. She delivered many of the children in that area. And it grieves my heart to see that house demolished. I have some pictures, if I could present them to somebody if they're interested in seeing before and after. I went down there and it just broke my heart to see it. So it did quite a bit of removing the vegetation. One of the main things that I observed, other than it being boarded up, was both the main house and the bungalow that's attached have good roofs. So to me, the roof is where you start, and then after that, whatever else you need, you work at it. And I'd like to have a continuance on that, not just have it wrecked. And I'd like to have it revitalized again. And I've been paying the taxes for my brother because his mail came to me. But I had no concept whatsoever about the place being condemned. But I'm willing to work with the code enforcement officer and whatever it takes to bring things up to snuff. At the very least, I'd like to have a bit of time to be able to determine if it's worth it. Not just say, well, get rid of it, because there's a whole lot more entailed. There's expense to the borough, and there's all the legal stuff involved all over the place. I'd like to have an opportunity to see if that place is worth revitalizing. That's just something.
Okay, thank you. We'll talk to Chris House about it, so we'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Name will be your.
Surprise, I'm on this compliment you guys.
Okay, you can talk to name.
And
Name and address.
295 Scenery Drive, I'm only sticking on you guys, but I want to compliment the street department and the commissioners, for finishing that Forest Hill project, and you guys pushing it to get it done. The second thing I want to compliment
Thank you,
you.
Representative, also for the $660,000.
We'll keep them coming. Anyway, I want to compliment you guys. I'm not a part of it, but the senior group, I don't belong to it or anything, but I know they had to travel all over the Mon Valley, and I always thought they needed a place in Elizabeth Township. So I want to compliment you for providing this Girl Scout camp for them. And third, dropping the tap-in fees from 6,000 to 2,000. I hope we end up with 1,000 new homes in this township.
So do I.
I also have a question, and you can answer it when you get to it, the property that's being sold, where it is, and when you get to that, you can tell me. And then the last one, Chapel Drive, I'm not serious, I got a pile of information, want to save $7,400, I I got that much information, I got aerial views and everything.
Can you drop it off up here?
I'm not gonna drop it off, because I've done this a couple times, and
I'll come
parts of it go
You
missing.
can coordinate with Jim directly, Jim can get it and give it back
But
to you.
what I wanna ask, I've never had a chance to get a hold of Jim over there, you know, to talk about it. And I would like, you know, at the least, just the next meeting, call me, let me come, I'll bring it. But every time I show this stuff, some of it disappears. I used to have 3 or 4, I even have a floor plan of the building, existing building, how to remodel that. I got everything.
If you can talk to you after the meeting, we'll set up
Yeah,
something
give
to
me a
meet
call.
up there.
I have a lot of issues with my wife and other people, and I'm sorry, if you can meet,
Could you bring them up here, we can scan them while you're here and get all back to you?
it's about
I'll
that
share-
big.
yeah, we'll
And
look it back.
some of the drawings are maybe 30 by
I'll get
30.
the giant scanner up there.
Yeah, you can do that, yeah.
Okay, that'd be great.
So
Yeah.
you might want to delay spending the $7,400, that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Thanks,
Unless
Emil.
Andrew will confirm I have all this data. See it.
Okay, thank you.
Emil, I have a question on that, there, right here. I have a question. So you had, an aerial survey, how long ago was that done?
Some of the stuff is from KLH at the beginning, and some was from, I think, Senate engineering.
So would that aerial, survey still be working?
I have to see it.
That's why I said, just delay that, and if you think you need it, then go ahead and get it.
Can you bring it up this week?
And I have more, but I can't find it, that's so much stuff that, from everything going on up there.
Emil, if you could bring it up this week so we can call and give it back to you, that would be great.
But I want it all back.
So we'll give it back.
Okay.
We don't want papers. We'd rather just scan
That's
it
what's
in.
happening to me, my wife's making me get rid of it.
Yeah, thanks, Emil. Radcliffe Simon. If you could state your name and address for the record.
Good night, my name is Radcliffe Simon, and my address is 220 Gibson Drive, Elizabeth, Pennsylvania, 15037.
Okay. Good.
Okay, so first of all, I am Cuban,
Okay.
so my mother language is Spanish. So I don't speak good English, but I hope you understand what I say. So we moved here from Oregon, Portland, Oregon, on June 22nd. So when I have like maybe 10 days in my house, so Chris House, the building inspector, showed to my house and told me, I breed puppies, Dogo Argentina, it's a big one dogs. So I always sell the puppies. So he told me I cannot breed puppies in my house because it's in a residential zone. I was looking after that, at least in the zoning map, showing my house is in a commercial zone. But I never told him nothing about it. I just go to Humane Society, and he told me, try to remove the puppies out of my house. So Humane Society told me they can't tell me about it. So I have to do it by myself. I keep doing, so I just still have to. I am trying to sell it the most cheaper I can, but at least I am trying to do it. So after that, I am trying, when I moved here, my foundation has a problem in the right side. I spoke with the company for the foundation, and they told me they are going to fix it. Even they are going to fix one, and I say, no, please fix both, because today is just one, and tomorrow the other one. I prefer to do it that. So the guy has some problem trying to talk with his house. I have the paper here, everything he did, the application he filled up. So I trying to do the addition in my house. So in the right side, we have a porch. We wanna destroy that porch, and we wanna build a living room, and in the top, bedroom and a bathroom. So the building contractor came here one time, he told me, this is what he told me. Came here one time and called him twice, and he never, even I called him today, and he told me he never got the call back for Chris House. So, and he told me today, we cannot do the addition until next year, because, it's taking at least 2-3 months, so that means the winter could be here, so I cannot do it. So I have a small towing company, the name is Happy Towing. So I brought the doctor with me from Oregon, and I tried to run my business here. I found a friend, his name is Bill, and he have a commercial place in 101 Enterprise Street. I was here to talk with Greg Borrell because I applied for the license of the state. I mean, I have the federal license, but I need a number from the state. So, and the state told me the only step I don't have is talking with Greg Borrell. So I came here and he told me I don't need to talk to him. But at that day, he said me, we have to go to speak with Chris Howe about this song. So we go to the office, and at the moment we go inside, he don't say even hi, he just say, what about your dogs? So I am going to talk with him about my dogs. So I start to tell him I am here to talk with the doctor. Greg Borrell told me to tell him, oh, I am here because his contract, he don't let Greg Borrell finish and say, he told me he's going to move it. Move it from my house to a commercial place. So I have to tell him, could you please let Greg Borrell finish to say, what I am here. So Greg Borrell told to me, the opinion he told me, is saying I have to put my company outside of the city. So I would like, why? Because I drive Enterprise Street. I drove Enterprise Street and no residential area. You can see just business, different kind of business. Even in the right side of the built property, you can see a big equipment like excavator, big truck, big trailer. So you can see different business on the front, on the other side. Why I cannot park my truck right there? And in the other one is more bigger equipment, it's a landscape company. And if you drive 48, you can see big truck. I don't understand why I have to put my business outside of the city. So I have a picture last 3 days. So I wasn't in my house. I have the picture here. His car. So in my drive. So I wasn't in my house. My wife was in the house, but she was in the basement on the laundry. She listened my dogs barking. Sometimes we have rabbit or other animal. She was thinking that happened because when they see rabbit, they want to go to hunt the rabbit. So, but my wife just goes straight out. But when she go outside, she see all of my dog faces. So at that moment, she said something is wrong. She was thinking release at least the 2 males because she was alone on the house. But my daughter's 5-year-old was in the bedroom. So she decided wrong. See, my daughter was good. And after that, she go to the living room and she took the picture in part in my drive. When she took the picture, she go, this is my living room. She have to drive through the kitchen to the porch, and after that, she can go outside. At the moment she goes outside, he drove away. I don't think he run away. I just wanna say why he was in my house. Maybe he say hi, nobody answered him. Why he don't leave a note. So just we are having hard time.
You're over your 3 minutes. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to address any of these, Chris?
Where to start?
Let's start with the dogs. That's the first one I had on my list.
So, it was referred to me, hello,
Hi.
how are you? It was referred to me by the police department that a dog kennel was being operated. Mr. Simon has not denied that and has still not gotten rid of the dogs. We have not sent a.
What dogs are these, Chris?
What kind of dogs?
Yeah.
I think they're the Argentine fighting dogs. Are they fighting dogs? Dogo Argentinos?
They are not fighting. So.
They're still at the property though?
The 2 puppies, yes, still.
How many dogs total?
Now 6, my 4 dogs and the 2 puppies.
Okay, so you're still 2 over the limit. We have not sent him a compliance order. That seems to have been a mistake.
Okay. So it's over the limit of dogs.
You can't run a dog kennel out of your house.
Okay. Next, we talk about foundation problems.
Foundation problems, what he said, I'm not sure where he's coming from. His contractor just applied for a building permit. I spoke to him last week. So that is under review now.
Okay.
I don't know who said they can't build an addition, not Mr., I think his name is Brian McWhorter. In fact, that is his name. Their permit is pending currently.
The next is, towing company.
So you can't also, you cannot run a towing company out of your residence. And you are also not allowed to have commercially identified vehicles. This is a tow truck that is advertising puppies for sale. And I last showed up at his house to do a site inspection. It is not in compliance, and we have now accumulated washers and dryers and air conditioners sitting in the weeds in his front yard. To that end, he will be sent a compliance order.
Thanks, Chris. Next is Jim Gibbons.
Good evening, everybody. Jim Gibbons, I live at 708 Green Oak Union Vista Road. And I just wanted to come up and thank everybody here, especially Chris. Today's, I guess, complimentary day.
I like this.
Yeah, it is, but, the property down the street from my house, 609, was finally taken down. It looks great. The neighborhood loves it. I know I like it. And I just wanted to thank you, because and what I like too is y'all got, betters who tore it down there from Green Oak also. They're staples of Green Oak also. Just want to thank you. And being Andrew's here, I called him up. There was that, I don't know if y'all remember the, storm sewer when you go across the Boston Bridge, how it was falling. A lot of people didn't notice. But I called him up and within 2 weeks, he had a stake down there and he fixed it for us. But I got one more question. I don't know if anybody can answer this. They painted a bunch of green lines on the street, Kyle up there in Green Oak, and put the green flags in. What's gonna happen?
I think it's up on Duncan Station too. I'm not sure if it's the gas company or the water company, but they're gonna do some utility work.
It's gas.
And gas. The green would probably most likely indicate this our sanitary guys, but
Okay.
working sanitary lines.
Yeah, because different people in the neighborhood were asking me. I said, I have no idea.
You saw that in Green Oak as well?
Yeah, right from the house, Colin.
Oh, you're gonna go to Vista Road?
Yeah, from there, all the way up, past Ket Works,
Okay.
all the way up to the fire hall. It goes up to the school. And, I was just curious what that's, if anybody really knows what that's all about, what they're gonna do.
We have two people on replacement jobs.
Did you hear that, Jim?
There's two major water line projects coming to the township too. We just got, one calls on the other day.
Okay. They did replace all our gas lines and the water lines right in front of, from, I believe, Travel, Lutheran Lane, all the way up to Cherry Street, but that was quite a few years ago, because we were getting water in our gas lines and cutting out our, furnaces and stuff like that. But I just want to thank you. I'm so happy that it really looks good. If y'all get a chance to drop by. Thank you.
Thank you.
This will only be 30 seconds. When I go up Renzi Road, down Renzi Road, every day, talking about slides. They fixed that last year, they did a good job, except for one little section about me and you, it is sliding. It seems to be somewhat stationary, but you get a little bit of this when you go over it. And my concern is that this winter, it may just turn into a slide. And I don't know whether that, I think that's county responsibility, if I remember correctly. But it'd be good to have that check and prevent, a much larger expense to fix a slide. I just think.
Andrew, is that something you can check into?
Pardon me? I know right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll get Andrew.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Okay, next is resolutions.
Excuse me, Mr. President, may I say something, please? I'm not on the agenda. Since my name was brought up, I'd like to clarify one issue, please.
How about state your name and address, Director Bill?
My name is William Bynum, and I live at 227 Lincoln Hall Road, Elizabeth Township.
Go ahead, Bill.
I just wanted to clarify, Mr. Marquez was speaking because he mentioned it, but I want to make sure it's known. His house resides in B2 commercial zone, the whole entire residence does. I don't know what codes apply as far as dogs, but I can certainly say that it would be my opinion that in the B2 zone, certainly could park commercial trucks there, there's residents. I would ask the solicitor to check into that.
It would be right on line under our, zoning.
It doesn't, under B2, he is in B2, without a doubt. It's a non-conforming use, legal non-conforming use, I believe, because it is actually a house, but it sits. You can check the zoning map, he's clearly in B2. If you start to send them citations, I would just ask that you're certain that whatever ordinances you're enforcing apply in the B2 zone. And again, you're asking, making sure that there's just legal clarification of what his zoning is and what he can and can't do there. To prohibit him from parking a commercial vehicle in front of his house, in a B2 zone, I don't know, that sounds a little iffy to me. But I thank you very much for your time.
I can respond to that. The order will state it clearly, I'm certain, that you can't park the vehicle there.
Next is resolutions. Motion to adopt resolution 2023-10, signifying the intention to organize a municipal authority under the Municipal Authorities Act of 1945. Can I get a
So
motion?
moved.
Can I get a second? Thank you, Mr. Lehman, for citizen vote.
Yeah, so for some months now, the township has discussed the creation of a municipal authority for redevelopment of the township. One of the primary purposes will hopefully be able to take care of the acid line drainage issue, as well as looking at further elimination of blight in the township. So, recent changes to the law have made it possible to create an authority for this township, which we're gonna do. They'll have their own operating separate board, separate solicitor, separate engineers, operate as a separate entity under the township with the purpose of eliminating blight.
Great, roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Watt?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedek?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Black?
Yes. Next, motion to ratify the vote from July 19th, 2023 to adopt resolution 2023-11, approving the acquisition of vacant parcel 1569-D-180 would be in accord with the comprehensive plan of Elizabeth Township. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second? Matter, Chris, did you explain what this is, the vote?
We're on number 8, sorry.
Number two,
Number two.
resolutions.
I'm sorry.
It's for the vacant, county vacant property.
Oh, my apologies. That is, the old store in Blydale, the name escapes me, but, Historic Elizabeth is acquiring that property in order to renovate it and restore it to its historic beauty.
And we're privileged for the county to do this?
Correct.
Correct. Okay.
Sorry.
That's good. I just want to make sure everybody knows, what this is. Roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Watt?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedek?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Black?
Yes. Motion to adopt resolution 2023-12, providing Elizabeth Township inclusion in the Allegheny County Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnerships Program for three program years of 2024, 2025, and 2026. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Take a second.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Watt?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedek?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Black?
Yes. Okay, next are non-expenditure items. Motion to approve the Commissioners' meeting minutes dated July 3rd, 2023. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next, motion to approve the Commissioners' workshop meeting minutes dated July 17th, 2023. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next, motion to ratify the vote from June 30th, 2023 to allow the Think King EST organization to use Boston Field for a one-day charity event with no rental fee. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next, motion to approve the sale of an Elizabeth Township owned parcel adjacent to 131 Lake Drive to Thomas Zadraga and Paula Zadraga at a price of $1,400. The buyer shall pay all buyers and seller costs associated with the transfer of the property. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Sure.
So, I wanna make sure this is, we did parcel out that section, so there was just
Just with
that little section and not.
I don't think that's not, yeah, this will authorize the.
I wanna make sure that it's not sold for 49 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, why don't you amend the motion to say contingent upon the, appropriate subdivision of the property? At their cost, right, at their cost, all costs
Is
associated.
that just in the area of the driveway or the driveway?
Yeah, I think it's just that drive. It's a perfect little
It's just that.
rectangle that comes out,
Yes.
it's part of town, it's 10 acres above it.
So it'll just be for the small parcel where the
Yes.
driveway is.
Like a quarter acre, it's not even that much.
We need a new motion.
Whoever made the original, so just that.
Who made the original?
Who made that motion? I think I did.
Okay. You want just amend it?
I meant that, what I said.
Take a second.
I'll second that.
If you got those changes, great. I did. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next, motion to ratify the vote from July 31st, 2023 to waive the fireworks permit fee and the road closure fee for Buena Vista Volunteer Fire Department Community Day and Park Cruise event. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, next expenditure items. Motion to approve the township bill warrant dated August 7th, 2023 in the amount of $900,695.48. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Next, motion to approve the sanitary bill warrant dated August 7th, 2023 in the amount of $302,181.63. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Next, motion to approve the payment of the invoice for the emergency demolition of 203 Patton Street, lot and block 1266-G-399 by Guffey Construction at a cost of $6,100. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Next, motion to approve the payment of the invoice for the emergency demolition of 609 Greenock Buena Vista Road, lot and block 651-K-353 by Vetters Construction at a cost of $7,500. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Next, motion to ratify the vote from July 12th, 2023 to purchase a used 2019 Ford Explorer Police Cruiser from Craft and Borough at a cost of $15,000. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
This is a phenomenal deal. Roll call vote.
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Next, motion to ratify the vote from July 12th, 2023 to donate $100 to the Butler's Golf Charity Golf Tournament. The charity benefits the VFW of Lane Hill and Elizabeth Township. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Excuse me, Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Poyer?
Yes. Next, motion to accept the proposal from PDDM Solutions LLC for civil engineering services for the Boston Ball Field at a cost of $64,500. PDDM is an approved CoStarz vendor. Can I get a motion?
So
But we're gonna pull that.
That's right, very important. Okay. Next, motion to ratify the vote from August 1st, 2023 to approve a one-time adjustment for sanitary account ETS 100-30283 in the amount of $14,624.70. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Matt, we got done this to make sure that the property is done before this is ready.
Yeah, I mean, contingent, that's all contingent on the demolition, yeah.
Should we,
I would say contingent upon appropriate demolition. I don't know who had
Motion.
those coordinated with that.
can you amend that motion to make sure that this is contingent on the
Demolition of the structure.
I'd like to make a motion contingent on the, demolition of the property from the cost estimated.
Perfect, okay. Can I get the second on that?
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Blair?
Yes. Next is motion to award the 2024-2028 solid waste collection, removal, and disposal contract to Waste Management. This contract will include manual trash pickup, automated recycling pickup, resident invoicing by contractor, e-waste, and household hazardous waste program. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Blair?
Yes. Next is motion to authorize the condemnation of the following properties for demolition as listed below. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Question on the motion.
Matt, want to say something?
Go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna say, just for a note, 308 Long Street is on here. Just because the property is condemned does not mean that you have to move forward with the demolition. So if the gentleman here this evening does want to make those appropriate repairs, you can have it on the demolition list, pull off on the demo, and then if he does the appropriate repairs, then remove that. So you can approve this with that on there, and it wouldn't impact if you do,
Well, thank you.
But to be fair to him though, if he should probably formalize a plan before he starts doing it so that we know it's appropriate. Instead of putting money into it and it's still been done.
Chris, how do you typically handle this?
We can do it two ways. We can delay it now, or we can delay it later. If he has legal standing and he's willing to bring it up to code, I don't see why he shouldn't do that. It's not about tearing everybody's house down, but, I think there's a large amount of work that's gonna happen.
It's a big amount of work. It's
Yeah.
huge. There's a couple other things to consider. The property next to it is condemned on this list. It's right above there, 304. We also put these out in groups. We don't just go say, hey, bid 7 different places. This goes out as one bid. I'm not opposed to, Mr. Kadar giving this a shot, but I think you know what you're up against. And I would also ask, not only should you have a plan, but you should ask for, or we will at least put a time limit on completion of this.
Absolutely.
It is now the middle of August, and it gets cold around here in November, as you know.
I was born and raised around here.
I think we should still put it on and then pull it after the plan is attached. What do you-
That's fine.
Which way do you want to go with it?
That's fine. I just want to state, now that it's been condemned, you have to bring the building completely up to code. Just so you know.
I need to know what the details are so that I can do it in a more orderly manner, if you stated that way, so that I can make progress that suits you as I go along. So I don't jump into something and neglect something else.
Understood, but what we're saying is you have to bring it up to code in a certain time period.
I hope there's a reasonable time period because, you know, I'm ready to give it my best effort and get contractors as necessary.
Chris, we don't see the issue with the bamboo in the backyard.
That's the other structure.
Oh, it's the other one? Oh, okay, okay.
you know, on these ones, I would typically only recommend removal of it from the list if there's already a plan presented. Because there hasn't been a formalized plan presented, my recommendation to the council is go ahead and do the condemnation, have him then present the formalized plan. Now, you're saying you hope that timeframe is reasonable. Typically, that would be on you to present the plan, to say, I've contracted with these people, they're gonna do it by X date. Is that, you know, hopefully that's acceptable to the township. So really, that would be on you with the hopes that it is reasonable, we can agree to it. But, you know, otherwise, I think our time limits are probably gonna be pretty stringent. We want you to do it yesterday.
Get with Chris ASAP.
Give me a good fair price.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Walk.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls.
Yes.
Commissioner Benedek.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma.
Yes.
President Poyer.
Yes. Next motion to allow the Elizabeth Township Seniors Nonprofit Group to use Building 3 at the community center every second Tuesday of each month from 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at no cost. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second? Roll call vote.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Walk.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls.
Yes.
Commissioner Benedek.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma.
Yes.
President Poyer.
Yes. Next motion to amend the Elizabeth Township fee schedule to reflect an increase in overnight rental fees for all community center buildings, $50 a day to $75 a day. The overnight charge for the Scott groups will increase from $75 a day to $100 a day, beginning June 1st, 2024. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Greg, get a comment on this?
Yeah, the June first was amended to the motion, just so it aligns with the previous rate increase that you voted on. That's the reason.
Good idea.
Okay. Roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Walk.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls.
Yes.
Commissioner Benedek.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma.
Yes.
President Poyer.
Yes. A motion to amend the Elizabeth Township fee schedule to reflect a decrease in the sewer tap fee from $6,000 to $2,000 effective immediately. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Hold on one second, if I could. I just wanna make sure that everybody here knows that that $2,000 that we're gonna be bringing that down to, that meets almost everybody in the area, if I'm correct. So, one of the big things, Liam, that I would like to see is, it's time to build in Elizabeth Township. Come here, right? That's on that paper. All right. Thank you.
Hopefully we get the school district to do the learn the tax payment
Yes,
too.
that's
along with
next.
this. Roll call vote.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Walk.
I'm voting no because I think it took it down too far.
Commissioner Walls.
Yes.
Commissioner Benedek.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma.
Yes.
President Poyer.
Yes. Next motion to ratify the vote from July 31st, 2023 to award the 2023 paving program contract 2023-04 to A. Liberoni at the cost of $924,176.48. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Walk.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls.
Yes.
Commissioner Benedek.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma.
Yes.
President Poyer.
Yes. Next, motion to approve the purchase of capital budgeting software from ClearGov at a cost of $6,200 per year and a one-time $1,800 setup fee. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Walk.
Yes.
Commissioner Walls.
Yes.
Commissioner Benedek.
Yes.
Commissioner Toma.
Yes.
President Poyer.
Yes. Next, motion to pay application number 1 from Maybe and Sons, Inc. in the amount of $247,000 for the construction of the Jacktown Road Bridge. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Question?
Discussion on that.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So, can we clarify what that 247 is?
Well, I was wondering, yeah, or, did we get a detailed bill?
I don't know if you got one today, Tim. We talked earlier.
Right. Late in the day, I was in contact with Bailey, asking for a more detailed bill. But what it was is to restore the site from the condition the previous contractor left it in, to establish erosion and sedimentation controls so that way DEP would allow, the new contractor, Bailey, to do work because they were under stop work orders from the previous contractor. To set the box culvert with the crane, to set the main walls with the crane, and as of when this was put in, to pour the concrete aprons.
So on this, is this beyond the bond that when that project was bonded from the other contractor, is this an addition or is this a coverage? What exactly is this?
So,
His original bid came out, I think it was like $700-some thousand for that. Is this an addition to that?
you have not paid, you've only paid $280,000.
Right.
To
Is
the
this
initial contract.
included in that initial part or is this gonna be on top of what our plan was?
The first contractor, Dragon, not going to be able to get all their original money. There's still a dispute on what is the delta between the 280 that you have paid and the 700 roughly of their bid. And that's something that's currently a legal issue at the moment. This is in order to move that project forward, and then we have to recoup the costs again legally.
The bonding company covers everything that would go over the original contract, correct?
That's correct.
So the answer to the question,
The
is
answer
coming from the boss.
is maybe. So, the issue, it's a hard maybe on that. Now, it's probably, the answer is probably it's still under, if I had my best estimate, the problem is we don't have the exact number from Dragon yet. I'm working with their legal counsel in order to get that billing with his change orders and finalize the number for the payment to him. I don't have that number, I haven't been provided that documentation yet. I had conversations with his lawyer this week, so I'm supposed to get that documentation. But more than likely, we're under, but we don't know yet. We don't know the exact number yet. All we can tell you is anything above and beyond will be covered through one. So we're
All right,
probably
so
gonna
that answers my
yeah.
question.
And if I could, I did talk to Greg about this earlier. I don't have a problem with the payment. I'm sure it's completely justified. I would like to see the motion amended though, just to say reflective on the appropriate detailed billing, because I had asked Greg for that. I'd like to see it just, because the billing as it came in, it was like work performed or whatever on Jacktown Bridge. It just, it was like 200-some thousand for just work performed. And I'd like to see something more because, this is under dispute, and the issue being that the bonding company will seek indemnification from the contractor. So they're gonna wanna see that detailed billing to make sure that the work that's being done is justified. It's not just immediately going in there and just doing whatever they want. So, we gotta get that in place. So I'd like to see that, yeah, just that motion, then just to say reflective on it.
Who made that motion?
Probably me.
Okay, Chris, do you want to add to that as reflected on the appropriate detailed billing?
As reflected on the appropriate detailed billing,
Okay.
well, based on that.
I would say, yeah, I was gonna say like contingent upon receipt of the detailed billing.
Okay.
I'd like them to submit to us.
That's what I'd like to say.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll pay them when we get it.
Can I get a second on that?
I'll second that. I do, just a point of clarification, Matt. So if that is above and beyond, that's taken care of, but.
That's correct, that's
All
right.
right, all right.
Okay, roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Boyer?
Yes. Motion to approve the proposal for KOH Engineers for professional aerial surveying of approximately 17.5 acres of the Chapel Drive property at a cost of $7,400. Can I get a motion?
I'm gonna make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, let's discuss this. So if we get with anyone, that's a viable survey,
You
then
don't
we're
have
not
to
gonna
spend
do
the money.
it.
You don't have to spend this if you don't need it.
Yeah.
It's just there. If that doesn't work out, then you already have it approved to go spend it.
Commissioner Benedict, there's no hurry either because we need to wait for a fall leaf out. So once the leaves,
So we have
late
time to
October,
get the stuff. Okay.
yes, we have plenty of time to review it.
Okay.
So this isn't something. that's gonna
So if
start
we vote
tomorrow.
on it, we're good to go. If that's good, then we're good to go anyway. Same
So
one.
Amy will be
Thanks,
there
Amy.
at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Amy?
Okay with that, as long as having additional information.
I agree.
Okay, roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict?
Yes.
Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Boyer?
Yes. Next, motion to advertise the sale of township-owned parcel 653-K-193 at a starting price of $35,000. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
This is the property, when you come over the Boston Bridge, there's a parking lot just to the right, next to Chelsea's roofing company. The township owns that property, we're gonna put up for sale with a minimum bid of $35,000. This will be a sealed bid, man, we're gonna be a sealed bid. Can I get a roll call vote?
Commissioner Kane?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Can I say something on that issue before you vote on it?
Not really. You can talk to us afterwards.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the motion.
Commissioner Walls?
Yes.
Commissioner Benedict? Yes. Commissioner Toma?
Yes.
President Boyer?
Yes. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Real quick, we were talking earlier about some work up in, I know at least up in Mount Vernon, Green Oak, University area, I know on Mohawk Drive. If I remember the original scope was adding over 2 miles of, I think it was gas line repair replacement. Not that, I just want to confirm, I don't know if that's through Greg or through the engineer, but that once that work's completed, that they will, repair, I believe it's curb to curb for the streets, and then.
Sure it is.
Yeah, no, well, seriously, so curb to curb plus, you know, if they interfere with driveways or would do any damage to driveways, that would be under the scope as well. I would just like to know that that's confirmed. Is that correct?
Well, I had an initial discussion with the project foreman. The discussion was around where to store, where to lay down the materials. We gave him a little chunk of the community center, if you recall, right on Dumping Station. I did ask him that question, he said yes, but that's my only confirmation.
Would you be able to reach back out to him and get us with like written confirmation? The only reason I bring that up is, there was work in Mount Vernon years past, and, I know that at least in terms of the driveway, it was not brought back to its former glory, I guess is what I'll say. I just wanna make sure that our residents aren't negatively impacted by this work. Okay?
Thanks, Josh. Motion to adjourn? Second. Thanks, everyone.